Hello and welcome to What Culture Horror with myself, Andrew Pollard. I hope you're good. I hope you're well. I very much hope you're having a great week. If the week isn't going so great, though, I really do hope it turns around ASAP for you. Maybe the weekend brings something brighter. Right, let's start today's news video off with a topic that I genuinely do my very best to steer clear from when possible. Yes, that would be the Scream franchise, but we're at the point now, though, in time where Scream 7 is starting to flesh out its cast, and we now have some pretty big casting news in that regard. Now, this was first reported by Deadline that Celeste O'Connor has now signed on for an unspecified role in the upcoming new Scream movie. Now, O'Connor is likely best known for playing Lucky Domingo in the last two Ghostbusters movies, Ghostbusters Afterlife and Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. Horror fans might also recognize Celeste from Freaky as well, back in the day, 2020, the slasher movie that serial killer body swap slasher movie with Vince Vaughn and Catherine Newton. Now, as mentioned, there isn't any word at this stage on who Celeste O'Connor will be playing, but they join a cast that currently only consists of two people. That'd be Nev Campbell, returning as Sidney Prescott, while 1883's Isabel May was recently confirmed to be playing one of Sidney's daughters. As for the rest of the potential cast, Courtney Cox is expected to return as Gale Weathers, although no deal has been agreed just yet on that return. Likewise, Patrick Dempsey, he's expressed an interest to return as Mark Kincaid, his character from Scream 3, although the actor kind of specified that he's waiting for a script to be presented to him first before he makes any decision. Nowadays, of course, Sidney Prescott and Detective Kincaid are married and have what appears to be three children, with Kincaid and those kids referenced by Sidney extremely briefly in 2022 Scream. Of course, as has been the case for the past two movies, there's also plentiful fan speculation that Matthew Lillard could end up returning as Stu Macker, one of the original movie's killers. Lillard himself, he's regularly stated how he believes Stu is still alive out there somewhere. Maybe he's incarcerated, maybe he's running free, maybe he's getting up to all kinds of no good. The last time we did see that character was when he had a TV dumped on his head by Sidney at the end of the first film. But let us know in the comments, actually, if you'd like to see Stu brought back into the fold. This is a character who, at one point, was actually intended to be pulling the strings as a mastermind behind the events of Scream 3. That was back when Scream 3 was a vastly different movie. It was set to involve a set of high school murders, a story that was completely abandoned after the horrors of Columbine. Instead, we had Scream 3 head to Hollywood, Roman Bridger, the solo villain of the film. Although even then, there was plans at one point to have Emily Mortimer's Angelina revealed as another Ghostface working alongside Roman. But that was yet another change made to Scream 3 before it finally made its way out to cinemas. So yeah, let us know if you'd like to see Stu back. Maybe, do you want to see Gale Weathers back? Should you sit one out? I don't know. Let us know. Whether you like to see McDreamy back in the fold, Patrick Dempsey as well. But changing gears from one slasher franchise that got its start in the 90s to another. And that other franchise, yes, it's been in the news lately. That would be I Know What You Did Last Summer. The news this week is that new movie has actually officially started production now. So this news was revealed on social media with the official I Know What You Did Last Summer accounts posting the first shot from the set. That first shot, it was a still glimpse, brief glimpse of a hook-wielding fisherman. Of course, Ben Willis, the killer of the first three movies. Who knows what the crack is with Ben Willis these days? I mean, yeah, I talked about this last week and I don't want to dump on it again, but I'll always know what you did last summer. Horrendous movie. But by that point, Ben Willis became this like supernatural zombie ghost thing. But I imagine we just completely forget that film. And it might not even be Ben Willis who's the fisherman this time because if we're ignoring, I'll always know he was very much. Yeah, kind of killed off, I guess, at the end of I'll Always Know What You Did Last Summer, and that's where we're going to head to there. I mean, Jennifer Love Hewitt as well as a little update on that. Last week, she said how she was close to seeing the return as Julie James, but she's still not, as of this recording, cemented that return. Freddie Prinze Jr., though, he's already on board, reprising his Ray Bronson role from the first two movies. And one person not joining him is Freddie's wife, Sarah Michelle Gellar. Now, Sarah Michelle Gellar, of course, played Helen Shivers in the first I Know What You Did Last Summer, a character memorably killed off by the murderous fisherman, Ben Willis. There was that kind of the big party scene where she's got the chase and she goes out into the public, that street, and it's like, you're there, you're safe, and then stupidly like pauses and then gets killed. Yeah, that's just, such a daft kill, but such a memorable one. Now, this kind of, the pot got stirred a little bit this week because Sarah Michelle Gellar took to Instagram, posted a photo from the set of the new I Know What You Did Last Summer. It's confusing, it's got the same title, daft. Some kind of took that and thought, somehow, some way, maybe the very much dead Helen Shivers could miraculously be resurrected. Because, hey, it's horror, and horror hasn't exactly been shy of pulling off such similar stunts over the decades. But Sarah Michelle Gellar, to her credit, immediately shot down that idea, responding to fans on Instagram to just like, no, Helen is very much dead. So she was probably just there with her husband. The Revenge is Jennifer Caton Robinson is on directing duties this time out, with Robinson having put the script together with Liam McKendrick. At present, I Know What You Did Last Summer is booked in for a July 2025 release. And yes, again, for those wondering, the new movie is also called I Know What You Did Last Summer, much like the original film, much like how the fifth Scream movie is annoyingly just called Scream. So whenever you talk about that, it's like 2022 Scream or the original Scream. Just call it Scream 5. Anyway, sticking with 90s favourites for a little bit longer, and the Hollywood Reporters confirmed Martin Starr as the latest name to join the Hand That Rocks the Cradle remake. Yes, another remake because, hey, why do we need original ideas? Let's just revisit things from the past. Yeah, Martin Starr is likely best known to mainstream audiences for his role as Roger Harrington, one of Peter Parker's teachers in the recent Spider-Man movies, MCU movies. A role he also technically played all the way back in The Incredible Hulk. That was kind of like retconned because his character there, brief cameo, didn't have a name, and it's like, oh, we're just going to make him that guy. That's all. Of course, real ones will recognize Martin Starr for Freaks and Geeks back in the day, but well, the series that was. It was brief, but it was brilliant. Anyway, this Hand That Rocks the Cradle remake already has Micah Monroe, Mary Elizabeth Winstead, and Raul Castillo on board. For those not familiar with the original 1992 movie, because, hey, I'm old, so to me it's like, yeah, that was just yesterday. But some people, 1992 is a long time ago, 32 years ago. But that's a movie that absolutely terrified young me when it aired on TV for the first time. You've got a magnificent Rebecca De Mornay taking center stage as just disturbing nanny, I guess would be one way to describe the character. To break it down a little bit more than that, I guess, De Mornay's character, Mrs. Mott, her husband is a doctor who commits suicide after being accused of sexual assault by several people. And the trauma of that suicide causes Mrs. Mott to suffer a miscarriage. And then 6 months later, in this kind of like twisted act of revenge or attempted revenge, she changes the name and becomes the nanny of one of her husband's victims, all with the intent of kind of manipulating the situation, manipulating the family, seducing the husband, taking the kids as her own, making the mother feel like she's crazy. It's one of those films that just, yeah, properly stuck with me after that first watch, which I believe I watched accidentally back in the day, just channel hopping, back in the days when you had like 4 channels. Well, technically 5, because hey, I'm in Wales and we also got S4C as well as Channel 4. We were lucky like that. Anyways, Martin Starr will be playing a concerned neighbour in this Hand That Rocks the Cradle remake. It is Micah Monroe who will be in the Rebecca De Mornay role here. Mary Elizabeth Winstead is the mother of the family, and Raul Castillo is her husband. Michelle Garza Cervera is on directing duties, and the film's set to start production later this month. So by the time that 2024 is out, this new The Hand That Rocks the Cradle will be in front of cameras. To wrap things up today and to focus on, a fairly original idea. Crazy that, I know, rather than just simply rehashing something from the past. And Sweetpea has been renewed for a second season now. This is a series that was developed by Sky and then handled by Starz in North America. Sweetpea, for me, it's been a proper highlight of 2024, I think, in terms of TV anyway. It's horror with a smidge of black comedy in there as well. Now, if you're not familiar with the series, it stars Ella Purnell as Rhiannon Lewis, who's this run-of-the-mill, fairly boring admin assistant who she's looked over for promotion, struggles with her love life, has a sick father that she has to look after, and then the death of that father and a few other things kind of cause Rhiannon to embrace a new outlook on life. As in, yeah, just start killing people, become a serial killer on the sly. And then, obviously, you've got the whole thing of trying to keep that secret and the extent you go for to keep that secret, secret. Sweetpea, it's only 6 episodes, absolutely well worth hunting down should you be looking for a new horror fix. And it's all got this kind of a playful sense of macabre over the top of it all. It's horror just with a little bit of fun in there as well, a little bit quirky. And that's pretty much it for today's news video. As ever, be sure to let us know in the comments what you've been watching or even playing. I mean, lately on that front, I've spent all week debating whether to buy Still Wakes the Deep on my PS5. It looks amazing. The reviews are good. People I know that have played it have nothing but good things to say about it. But me, I'm one of them weirdos where I get properly freaked out by like underwater elements on games. Even like some of the underwater stuff on GTA 5, yeah, that gave me the willies. Not a fan of that. So yeah, what horror delights have you got lined up for the rest of the week for your weekend? Me, I'd absolutely recommend the Creep Tapes on Shudder. I know I mentioned that again last week. The fourth episode is now out and is just as brilliantly demented as the other three episodes. Only two more episodes to come as well with that. It's going to be six episodes all in total, releasing every Monday on Shudder. I'd also recommend the stunning 4K release of Abel Ferrara's The Addiction that's coming out from Arrow on Monday. Just that color palette of the film, it works so well in glorious 4K. And with it being Arrow, it's just one of those releases where it's crammed with a bunch of special features and just a really nice looking overall package. Abel Ferrara, man, what an interesting fella. I had the pleasure of interviewing him a couple of times ago, a few years ago actually, for various releases. One being a previous release of The Addiction, the other being a new release at the time of Driller Killer. Just a really a fascinating bloke, should we say. He sat in his apartment in Italy, drinking red wine, even introduced me to his wife over a video call, and he talked a whole lot of sense and a whole lot of nonsense, and it was great. Anyway, enough reminiscing from me. This has been What Culture Horror. I've been Andrew Pollard. Be sure to have a great rest of your week and your weekend, and I will be back on Monday.